Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see who was here first, just out of curiosity. Lydia Washington, thank you so much for being here first. Mary H. Uh, um, Kennedy, and who else is here? And anyway, everybody's here. Okay. Edie's here. Fancy, fancy. Okay. All right, let me take this away and put that up. Yeah, and really, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour today. I'm going to make sure of it. 1 hour in and out, because I made a video earlier today. So, um, let me see. What am I missing here? Got all of those. Oh yeah, that's the most important one. Okay. Take that away. And oh no, I need that. I need that. Okay. And there we go. By the way, you guys, um, Geraldine White, Miss Jerry, she actually is not able to get into the live chats at this time. So every so often, I just like to remind her how many months she has been a member of Royal Sussex. And as you can see there, she's been a proud Royal Sussex member for 39 months. 39 months. Isn't that amazing? I'm just like, where has all the time gone? It seems like I just started this a couple months ago, right? And here we are at the 39-month mark. That is incredible. It's been 16 months since I said every so often. Actually, it's been 16 months since I put this up last time. I know because I had to change the number. Yeah, it's been 16 months. Gosh, and even that went by really fast. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I'll update it again in another 16 months. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, thank you, Miss Geraldine, for supporting Royal Sussex and for being a member. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. And yes, quite a few of y'all that's around the funny 40-month mark. Yeah, 40 months. Okay. Yes, and I am actually multitasking, but okay, I'm done with that. Am I? Yeah, I'm done. Okay. Before we get on to William again, well, the whole saga. How Duchess Meghan's rosé made her company sales skyrocket. Harper's Bazaar has exclusive details on, as ever, Whirlwind Summer. Now, I saw some statistic somewhere. I don't know exactly how accurate it is, but did I see something about 10,000 bottles um in I don't know how long was it? Or do I have that backwards? Was it 1,000 bottles in Nope, that's not right. Oh man, I don't know where I saw that now. Okay, that's not helpful, is it? But anyway, it was some astounding number of bottles that sold in a flash. Now, and then, okay. Oh, there it is. 10,000 bottles in the first 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh, you saw it too. Thank you. Oh, and you saw it. Yes. 10,000 bottles in the first 10 minutes. Wow. I wonder what that number would have been if Church Nelly um I wonder what that number would have been if Church Nelly wasn't up. Huh. Well, there you go. 10,000 bottles in 10 minutes. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That is incredible. Because trust me, there's not too many wines that are selling that rapidly, especially, um, with the incredible amount of celebrities and famous people that have rosés out there. So that is amazing. Congratulations to our Duchess. Amazing. Anyway, let's get to the Harper's Bazaar. It says here, it's been a big week for Duchess Meghan. In addition to turning 44 on the August 4th and celebrating what the Duchess of Sussex called one of the top 5 meals of my life at Funk in Beverly Hills, the As Ever founder also geared up for the second drop of her brand rosé on August the 5th. Oh, there it is right there. As Ever saw 10,000 bottles of the 2020. That's where I saw it. No wonder. Okay, of the Napa Valley Rosé purchased in the first 10 minutes. The wine was available to buy. A brand spokes. Wait a minute, did I skip something there? Purchased in the first 10 minutes that the wine was available to buy. A brand spokesperson shared exclusively with Harper's Bazaar. Of those purchases, 20% were made by repeat customers. That would be me. Many of which purchased the 6 and the 12 packs. This goes around showing customers confidence and favorability for the rosé following the first wine drop. Okay, since its inception, As Ever has been on a journey of joy, learning, and evolution. I like that. I like that. Journey of joy, learning, and evolution. I don't want to forget that one. Let me see. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat there. You see it? Okay, let me pin that up top. A journey of joy. Oh, you see there? I forgot already. All right. Okay. I have pinned it to the top of the chat. There it is. Okay. Now we can all learn from that one. All righty then. That's what it was. That's what it says up there. Okay. Back to the article. And joy and pain, sunshine and rain, joy and pain. Okay. All right. Okay, I just want to make a note to myself. We are on a journey of joy, learning, and an evolution. There you go. That's what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice quote. It says here, the spokesperson tells Harper Bazaar, our products are created with love, shared with meaning, connecting people through life's special moments, big and small. We want every customer to delight in owning a piece of As Ever. Now, do we get to pick the piece? Because I still need raspberry, and I'm waiting for my apricot jam. I like that jam before I start another diet. I really want that before I start another diet. Okay. All right. Anyway, that article is in Harper's Bazaar. And as I promised that we'll only be here for an hour, I'm not going to do the entire article. How's that? And again, there is the mini that she was wearing for her birthday at Funk. Check it out. It has the details on the hem at the bottom, just above the hem, and around the shoulders and the sleeve. And yeah, so that's what she wore in Central Park. Yeah, what was the name of that event in Simple Central Park? What was the name of that event? I forgot what the name of it was. Because do you remember when Meghan was going down the steps and everybody was like screaming for her? That was so cool. That was so cool. But I forget what the event was. Because I still got the video if I can remember what it was. Nope. Oh man, I don't remember. I know it was something Central Park. Oh well, never mind. Because I promised that I'm going to be here for just an hour. And I'm not going to spend that whole time looking for a video in Central Park. Right? Yeah, no good. I don't see it. Oh, global citizens. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes, it was global citizens. Yeah. Yeah, it's not kind of handy, so I'm going to just keep going. I have so many videos. I would be here all day looking for it. All right. Again, there is the outfit. And what does it say there at the bottom? It says Meghan blowing out candles. Let me see. It doesn't mention the outfit, though. All right. It does not mention the outfit. So never mind that one. I was hoping it would, but I want to say that that's Oscar de la Renta. No, it doesn't seem like Oscar. Oh gosh, I don't know which dress that is, but that's okay. Let's keep it moving. All right. Royal family confirms senior members to step out next week, but Kate and William absent from announcement. It has not been confirmed whether the Prince and Princess of Wales will make a public appearance next week. The thing is, the royal family has confirmed that the senior members of the monarchy will attend an engagement to commemorate the 80th anniversary of VJ Day on August 15th. The milestone anniversary next Friday remembers the end of the Second World War around the world. King Charles will deliver an audio message on the morning of VJ Day to mark the historic occasion. The monarch and queen consort Camilla will attend the service of remembrance at the National Memorial Arboretum. So, for whatever reason, they're not going. I wonder what that's about. I wonder what that's about, huh? Well, I think there's still a feud going on between the houses of Windsor and you guys. This whole thing with the SENTEBALE is a very cleverly timed distraction from everything else that's going on. Now, remember, those two very cheeky individuals that you see right there, I just want you to recall the fact that when they were dressed up in those garter robes, not one, but both of them and their children were late. They were late for the for the coronation. Late. And Charles was outside in the carriage waiting in the rain, furious because, if I'm correct, he was not supposed to enter before they entered. And they got there after they made a video that morning. They have been at it for I don't know how long, but amongst the two couples in the left behind royal family, they are not in a good place. And the press will not speak of it. That is what's so frustrating. They will not speak of it. And we do know that if the palace wants to shut things down, they can and they will, which is why it took a long time before they said that Princess Diana and what's his name, that their marriage wasn't doing so well. It was common knowledge, but the press would not report it. And this goes all the way back to Wallace Simpson. The press in the UK, they knew about Wallace Simpson and what's his name, but they would not mention it. But the American press was having a field day with it. Every place else in the world, it was a story. In the UK, it was said that there was not much said about it. There was a lot of discretion. There was even a photo where they kind of blurred out Wallace Simpson's face. So they could shut stuff down if they want to. This is why we know that they have been feeding the Sussexes to the wolves. Now, Prince Harry cleared of bullying claims by report into damaging dispute at his charity. You guys, the more this evolves, and the joy in which so many people are reporting it, it's a question. I have no proof. I have no evidence. But we do know that Ian Rawlinson has that connection with the Tusk Trust, whatever the such and such is, to save the elephants, right? And we do recall that William said that one of his missions is that he is going to purge the royal collection of anything made with ivory. So this has been a long commitment that William has had with the Tusk Trust. Oh gosh, that's hard to say. Tusk Trust. Trust Tux. Why does it say? It comes out like tuxedo. Trust Tux. Trust Tux. Tux Trust. Those horns that the elephants have. But there's other connections. Trust me. You know what I mean. Trust it. Trust. Believe me. Yes, believe me. There are other connections. Gosh, my mouth hurts trying to say that. Ooh, okay. My jaw is tired. Anyways, like for instance, yesterday, it was actually revealed that there were some other connections that, fortunately, people have made me aware of. I'll give you an example like right here. Thank you, squatties. Let me see for sharing this with me. But Rory is co-founder of the International Private Chairman of the Center of Okay, yes, these are, let's see, Rory Brooks, Ben Elliott. We all know him from YouGov. Ben Elliott, that is Camilla's nephew, right? And yeah, Camilla's nephew, who profited by giving access to Charles. How many cash for access do they have? Yeah. So, and this was Light Side of the Moon that found this. It's very suspicious that one of the main directors, Rory Brooks, CBE, okay, so he's got an honor. So he has a royal honor of the charity commission. Oh, he's on the charity commission, and of course the other one, Elliot, Camilla's nephew. This is the same charity commission that gave a little wink and a nod to Charles with his cash for honors. And of course, the same charity commission that pretty much said that, well, we couldn't find any wrongdoing from Prince Harry or anybody on the board. They could not find any wrongdoing toward Sophie. However, this should have never gotten so out of hand. This should have not become a public spectacle. Although, if you really wanted to consider how it became a public spectacle, one would have to only look at Sophie. It was just a matter of fact that Harry and Prince Say-So was stepping down. They just said, okay, we're stepping down. That they are following the lead of the board and they're stepping down. The two that founded the charity decided to step down. But you guys, this has really, really evolved into a big stinking mess. Headline after headline, article after article, and of course, all the videos. This is one of those times when I have to say it again. Harry, well, either Harry or Meghan, they are being defined by their enemies. The repetition of these accusations is the troubling part. It's not enough that someone says it. It's the repeating it over and over and over again, which at some point it starts to make you look guilty, even though the facts do not support that. And aside from the fact that the facts do not support those accusations, but the media, they're not supporting Harry. They keep asking questions that they full well know the answers of, but they will not give you any type of order to the mess because they want to keep asking questions for engagement so that they can use it as clickbait. But they already know the answer. The answer to the question, why did he walk away, is because there's been a hostile takeover. But you rarely hear anybody say hostile takeover. And listen, if you have issues with your blood pressure or if you're easily triggered, I haven't watched it myself. I'm not going to watch it. But do not go near Jeremy Vine. Do not go near Jeremy Vine because he will only frustrate and confound you because Jeremy Vine does this incredible job of playing stupid as though he doesn't know what it's all about when he knows full well what has happened. Every so often, they will let a phone call slip in there and one of the callers from home will spill the tea. But, they're not on the show, they're not on the panel. But this has been a mess. It is an absolute disaster. And I have no doubt that it's going to get sorted out at some point. But in the meantime, there's going to be a whole weekend where effectively they're going to just keep taking on water. And when I say they, I mean Harry. His little ship is going to keep taking on water till it starts listing to one side. And that's not a good position to be in. So I am very frustrated by it. But then again, I'm keeping myself very calm because it's temporary. It is very temporary. And in no time, people will move on to the next topic. But for now, it's not good. It is not good. It's too much of a bad thing. Let me see here. Edie says, Meg's fashion sense is so on point. Valentino is branching out in her size. Love you and the mods and my family of squatties. Well, thank you so much. And Edie, thank you for being a member. Where's my bell? Thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you very much for that. And Leg says, did you see the trustees' statement? They said that they sent concerns in 2024. It seemed that the Charity Commission didn't do anything until this year. No, I did not see that. I did not see that. I had something yesterday, but I don't think that was it. No, I did not see that. But they had concerns. Oh my God. You see what I mean? The fix is in. This is another stitch up, an institutional stitch up. They had been notified and they did nothing. Oh my God. You see there? That's what I mean. It just goes from bad to worse. It really goes from bad to worse. And you still have to ask the question, is this deliberate? Is this like some kind of infiltration? A way to, I guess, snatch the charity away from Harry, one of his most successful endeavors? And this just, the first of several attempts? Have they tried this before? Has this been in the works for a while? What are they going after next? That is the question. Thank you, Legs. Oh, yeah. I don't like it though. I'm not gonna dwell on it for so long, but um, all I could say, you guys, I know that if one of us are feeling a certain way, probably more of us are feeling a certain way. But there's no doubt that right now, because listen, the Sussexes hired a really good team for their communications. Give them a chance to shape a counter narrative, right? Give them a chance to shape a defense, whatever you want to call it. Give them a chance to do that. Hopefully, it will die out over the news cycle this weekend, and then we can move on. But it's time just perfect for all of the little weekend podcasts and everything. And of course, on the social media, they not only will dwell on this, and when I say they, I'm speaking of the Derangers, but then, of course, they will attach other things to it that are even worse in some respects. And it's just a matter of the momentum. There's a certain momentum on social media, and the momentum on social media tends to drive the headlines in the mainstream news, right? So that is one of the reasons why Twitter, even though it's a virtual world, is a very real place, because people's um, situation can rise or fall based on the algorithm, based on a bunch of tweets. I mean, we have someone sitting in the White House because of Twitter. So you can't just dismiss it, right? You cannot dismiss it. It needs to be addressed. I don't know how to address it. I'm not saying sit down and have a news conference or anything like that, but it is um it's not a good thing. It's not good to let this fester like that. Something has to be done. And I'm imagining they pay a lot of money for this communication team. Well, they need to start communicating and to the right people. Lex says, so basically the board notified the charity commission of their concerns quietly, and Sophie didn't want to leave since she was embezzling, allegedly, money. That's when she blamed them of racism and bullying. Yeah, well, that of course, that of course is the natural course of things for someone like that, who is quite the wordsmith, Sophie. As we've seen her performance on television, she's quite the wordsmith, and she always seems to have just the right type of words to say to make herself look innocent. But you can tell that things were stacked up against um, Harry, I would say, and Prince Say So and the rest of them, but really, I don't know anybody who can name someone on board. So essentially, let's just say we know the odds were stacked up against Harry, because um, it seems to be some type of a quid pro quo, some kind of deal or no deal type of situation. They obviously had one outcome, and that was exactly what we got. And that is that they gave it balance where there should be none. They're trying to make it seem like, well, they were both responsible for the way that this spilled into the public consciousness. Yes, they were both responsible. There's good and bad people on both sides. Essentially, that's what they're telling us. And with that, the average person doesn't know what to make of it. I am confident that the people who know and love Harry will not accept this in the way that Sophie has tried to frame it. I don't believe that anyone who really knows Harry, anyone who's been following Harry, I just don't think that they would believe that. But the problem is, it's all the noise on the other side of it. That's a worry. So I don't know what's to be done, but something has to be done. Willie Idol's what's that, paw prints all over it. Yeah, yeah, that's the despicable part of it. To hurt Harry, they attacked what he cares about most: his wife, his kids, his mother, and his relationship with his grandmother when she was alive. And now they're still doing it now that the queen is dead, and his charities. That is so true, Sussex Teen Warrior. It's like a checklist. It's like a little checklist, a laundry list of things to attack. Anything that they figure would cause the most pain. Yeah, and aside from the fact that yes, this is something that is still connected with the UK, which is why they had to use the commission over there. Um, I suppose that it's a bit naive to assume that no one would target a charity that is doing so much good for so many people who really need help. But that's exactly what's happened. Um, I guess in the world where there's a genocide happening and you know, nobody who can make things happen seems to care, um, it's not difficult to believe that a charity that has been very effective, a charity that's been around for almost 20 years, would be targeted, and they just don't care about the children. They don't care about the families. They don't care about those young people that have been orphaned. They just do not care because the main object is to win at any cost. And they do not have any concern or any regard for the 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 people that would benefit from the charity, a very successful charity. It's like one of those companies that, well, what is it, a hedge fund company or whatever, where they go in there and they shut down um, Joann's Fabric. That's what happened to Toys R Us. They'll find a good lie and they'll say, well, the reason why Toys R Us went out of business is because they didn't innovate. The reason why Toys R Us went out of business is because Walmart sells more toys than they do. Uh, yeah, Walmart is bigger than Target, but Target is still in business. There's always going to be a number one and a number two, but the number one toy um, seller is out of business because someone infiltrated and bankrupted. They sell off the property and then rent it to them at an incredibly high price. And the people that bought the property also are the ones that own the toy store. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing going on here, where someone slips on the inside and then, start picking it apart. And then the charity commission, the people that are supposed to police this, they say, well, there's nothing we could do about it. So all I could say is that this is going to be a rough ride, but we will get past this. We will get past this. Harry was a founder, but he was not the chair. He was not on the board. He was basically the fundraiser. He was pretty much the fundraiser. And who would think that they would eliminate the most important part of it? And they did. They really did. I mean, there's so many charities out there vying for people's attention. SENTEBALE is just one of them. Oh yeah, cruelty is the point. I just don't know how she lives with herself. I really don't. I don't understand how she could sit there so smug on television knowing what she's done. Thank you, Marsha. But yeah, that's an old saying. Cruelty is the point. When you say, what is the point? Cruelty is the point. Just like buying a company and bankrupting it because it's there, because it can be done. Very important, Mary H. says. I believe Harry can overcome this by, like he said, finding other ways to help those kids. And in the meantime, Sophie is going to fail the ancestors, y'all. Thank you, Mary H. I tell you, it's a dirty business. It really is. I just um I think of Sophie and it just uh, 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 uh. I just think of, like I said yesterday, I saw her in that position and I was proud, I was glad, I was happy for her, not realizing I can't even look at those photos, the photos from the from any place where she's near Harry. It's hard for me to look at those photos. It's very difficult to look at that because now that we know better, now we know of the devious nature of it, it's hard to look at it. It's like watching an assassin walking down the street and you're not able to say, you know what? Because that's exactly what it is. She is a smirking assassin. She is this very calm, cool um assassin, but not of people, of a charity. She didn't go after a person, she went after a charity. She bankrupted a charity. She drove the board, she drove the founders away from a charity. That is some talent. That's an incredible talent. That you could take something that has been so important, something that has been so successful, and just crap all over it. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer, thank you for joining us. Connie says that woman is backed by someone who wants what Harry has and who is deadly jealous, a very shrewd person. Yep. Yep. There was someone on TV earlier today. Like I said, you guys, stay away from the television because it's not helpful right now. There was someone on television that was saying, well, Sophie had the BBBA, was it? Um, and of course, they're not going to mention, and that didn't work out either. That was somehow decimated. They're not going to mention that. They're not going to mention that ridiculous website, whatever the name of that thing was that she had with her brother. They're not going to mention that. They're not going to use any type of intellectual curiosity. They're not going to do any investigative journalism to make a point. They're going to just keep harping on the fact that there was a falling out. It had something to do with this or that, and Harry walked away. And that is the one that is really triggering for me. Why did he walk away? Well, why did he leave? Why did he walk? They're trying to frame it as though Harry has abandoned these poor children. but they won't mention the 427,000 pounds or $600,000 of money, that funds that were raised, that somehow has, evaporated into a checking account here, a savings account there, for consultant fees. They won't mention those consultants. That's not a thing. And of course, I'm thinking Jessica Mulroney right now. I'm thinking of an unguarded moment on social media where someone enters her social media and demands that she does this or does that. And in that unguarded moment, which seems more like a trap, look at how much she's lost. Look at how much she's lost. She's lost her show. She and her husband are not together anymore, from what I hear. And of course, the impact on her reputation. An impact on her reputation. And it all seems so convenient how fast everything was taken away from her. Like a trap, like someone sprung a trap on her. Not to say that it has anything to do with this, but it's just a good reminder to anyone, especially if you're a public figure, how fast these things can happen, how innocent things may appear from the beginning. Every time I think about the fake doctor leaning and hugging and grabbing at Harry, I can't help but think that they knew at that point that it was slipping away from them, right? They knew it was slipping away. That the biggest fundraiser that they have is distancing himself from his own charity. But I will say this though, it is time to um to move that stuff out of the UK or start something new over here, and to be done with it. It really is. And I know it's not as easy as that. Um but it has to be done. That's yet another tie that must be severed in order to save face. This is the face of manipulation, corruption, and blatant incompetence. A disaster, true and true. A disaster, true and true. Not all skin folks are kin folks. This is a very good lesson. A very good lesson. Ooh, legs. I think Meghan clocked it. Sophie tried to introduce her people to Meghan at the polo event. Delphina basically blocked whoever it was by steering Meghan away. I think they all knew at that point. Ooh, legs. You see there? You see there? My. Every so often, you come up with a zinger. That is one of many. I got to admit. My. Yep. It's all right there on the film, isn't it? It really is. It's all right there on the film. Well, I must say that makes more sense than just about anything else I could think of. Yep. You know, and let me tell you, I'm pretty sure, like me, all of you have had that one situation where something got uncomfortable because you started seeing something for what it was and not what someone wanted it to be. Right? And that's probably one of those occasions. I'm pretty sure of it. Yep, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. So says one, so say we all. That is brilliant. Makes so much sense. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, that's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. You know, it's the same reason why Meghan was not invited to the Sandringham Summit. You ever heard that expression? You got too much sense for your own good. That's what that is. Too much sense for your own good. Which I know sounds counterintuitive, but stay with me. It's just like one of those colorful colloquiums that I was raised with. You got too much sense for your own good. That's a way of saying that you know too much, and that makes you dangerous to certain people. But yeah, there you have it. There you have it. I feel really betrayed by this act because, like I said, I saw Sophie there in that position, and it wasn't until the that particular polo match that it became obvious that a serpent was slithering through the garden. My. Well, on a lighter note, Zandy Sussex says, as a random side note, every time I see Sophie Chandayuka, I think of Olive, Popeye's girlfriend. Strong resemblance? Yeah, I see it. I see it. Oh man. I can see it. I do see it. Uh okay, keeping my promise. Let me see. I'm going to bypass a few things that are not so important for today, and I will put those. It's about the media, the newspapers and such, but I'll do that one tomorrow. Let me go down to. Yeah, I could do those. All right. Let me go down here. Where do I want to go? Yes, right there. Okay. So, Prince Harry, humanitarian, mental wellness advocate, environmentalist, military veteran, founder, Invictus Games, founder, Travelers, co-founder, SENTEBALE, co-founder, Archwell, president, African Parks, chief impact officer, Better Up, member, Aspen Commission on Information Disorder. Um, it's an impressive list for someone who's 40 years old. Prince or no prince, a very impressive list. Let me see. I love Meghan's girlfriends. They are protective of her. Yes, that that is very important. And there is a I mean, let's face it, Nacho's family, Harry's family, they're a family now. They are a family. And it's easy to see the bond anytime you see the two families together. An incredible bond. And I'm so glad that Harry's brother from another mother is is a part of his life. I'm very glad for that. And gladder still that Meghan and Delphine um that they've hit it off so well and that they're so close. So glad for that, because Meghan is a girl's girl. And that comes across as threatening to some people for some reason. And maybe the women that are troubled by it are the gatekeepers, like Kate. Those gatekeepers for the right wing establishment, maybe they're troubled by that. Because if you're a girl's girl, then there's just certain things you don't allow. You don't, especially being so brutal to another woman. That is just out of the question. You don't allow that. But you know what? Notorious TJB, he confronted someone who was trying to about the Jessica Maroney thing, and I guess there was some guy on TikTok that was declaring that Megan and Jessica were BFFs and so on and so forth. The nature of their friendship, I don't know. I know that they were close at one time, and but up until the point where there was that unfortunate situation, we I don't know that we've seen them together at all. You know, and yes, we were in the throes of a global pandemic, but even with that, there's not a lot to support how close they were. Um, and we do know that they, obviously were close, but not to say that there was any friction one way or the other. But, one family is in California, the other family is in Canada. So I don't know. And that's the thing is, I don't know, and neither does anybody else. Anyway, thank you so much for the super chat, Legs. Built of pure love by two respected leaders of society in memory of their beloved mothers, Sentabale is a warm haven in the image of these phenomenal women, protective, nurturing, and jealously committed to the welfare, hope, and aspirations of its innocent beneficiaries. Forget me not, Sentabale. So that's what it was all about. And that's what it continues to be about. And hopefully, let's just hope that that aberration, that, 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 oh gosh, I don't want to say that one, but that that she leaves. Let's just hope she leaves. Let's hope she leaves, and that SENTEBALE will be intact, and that she hasn't burned so many bridges that she has no place to go. We really want her to go somewhere. We want someone else to, you know, deal with her. Um, but get her away from SENTEBALE. Okay. Oh yeah. One last thing. Grenada has officially dropped their oath of allegiance to King Charles. Um, Celibacy, they can come up with some of the darndest images. Celibacy have a black belt in finding the most, I guess, poignant photos. This one right here says so much without saying anything at all. The photos that Celibacy select are pure shade. I'm telling you. Sometimes people ask me, where'd you find that? Celibacy. Let's see. That Edie girl. Thank you so much, that Edie girl. And thank you for being a member. And thank you for the super chat. Okay, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you, everyone.